guys, welcome to Go Motoring YouTube channel. So in today's video I'm reviewing the 2020 BMW Z4 M40i. This is the top of the line Z4. It comes with a turbo inline 6 engine from BMW. So let me kind of show you what the car looks like. It's a great looking car actually. Kind of a big deviation from a lot of BMW Z4s are these headlights. You know, most of your BMWs, those headlights are the two circles end up, or two rings end up being horizontal, and this one they're kind of on top of each other, diagonally vertical. It's got these nice creases in the hood. Hope you can see that. And then it's got a pretty nice front end. Yeah, great looking car. Love this blue color. Put some vents right there. All right. Let me take you on the inside of the car. Here we are on the inside of the car. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a digital display. So on the left hand side you got your speedometer and the fuel gauge. On the right hand side you got your rev counter and also your engine temperature. It's got a nice big screen over here. So yeah, the interior of the car is very nice. Looks like leather wrapped. Nice big steering wheel. Big fan of that steering wheel right over here. And yeah, it's a great looking car. And one of the things that it doesn't have. What's up guys, welcome to Go Motoring YouTube channel. So here I am in the 2021 BMW Z4 M40i, the newest version of the BMW Z4. And this particular car, this is the top of the line Z4 that's currently in production. I believe it has about 389 horsepower and 369 pound-foot of torque. Don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere around there. And it hits 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds. So you know, this car is incredibly fast. I mean, it's almost like supercar territory when you're getting into a 0 to 60 in the 3 second range. So what are my first impressions of this car? I think the car is really nice. You know, I've driven it around for a little bit now, and it's funny because I actually drove my Z4 to the dealership to allow me to test drive this one. And you know, it has much more of a GT feel to it than my car does. The suspension is firm and accurate, but it's also quite a bit softer than the one that's in my 2003 BMW Z4. You know, I was going over some bumpy roads and things like that, and whereas in my Z4 I felt like I was kind of bouncing all over the place due to the stiff suspension, that was not the case here. So the suspension in this Z4 M40i really did a good job of sort of absorbing you know, some of those bumps and you know, making it a pretty comfortable place to be. The steering is quite accurate. So you know, it's weighty. It's much more weighty than like some of the newer BMWs. You know, when BMW first started using electrically assisted steering racks, you know, the steering felt quite light. And I'm happy to report that in this particular car, they've made the steering much weightier and kind of more in line with, you know, what older BMWs felt like that had, you know, hydraulically assisted steering racks. But the steering is really accurate. Like if I point the car in one direction, like it goes, in that direction. I don't really need to make any adjustments whatsoever to the steering wheel, like you do in some other cars. I mean, it's just, point it and the car stays planted. It stays right there. It's quite responsive. So it's the handling in many ways feels like the original Z4, but it does not have like I said, it's not as bouncy. I think the suspension's a little bit more forgiving, and what that results in is, a drive where you don't need to constantly adjust, or make inputs to the steering. The car just goes fine. So that's kind of what it feels like, from that's how the handling feels like, steering feels like. It does feel a little bit heavier than my car, and I think it's because it is heavier than my car. It's about 500 pounds heavier than the Z4 or the E85 Z4. But that's, given how much power this car has, I think the power kind of more than makes up for it. So it does feel a little bit heavier, and it does feel a little bit more like a GT car in comparison to the original Z4. So it's it feels pretty nice here. I think this would probably be a much better daily driver than my 2003 BMW Z4 is. With the roof up, you feel it feels like you're insulated a little bit better from the outside. In many ways, it just feels like a normal car with the roof up. Like I said, the suspension is quite forgiving as well. So I think that could certainly make it a much easier car to drive on a day-to-day basis. Looks-wise, I think it's a great-looking car. I'm not sure that it's, I don't know if it's better looking than the 2003 BMW Z4, the E85. I think it's all obviously subjective. I'm a big fan of the E85's looks, so I think that car looks a little bit better. But that's not to say this car looks bad. It's just it doesn't look as good as the E85. But the car feels good. I'm taking it on the back roads right now. And I will say, I'm trying to, this is kind of my first impression, so I apologize if I'm sort of thinking out loud here, but as I'm driving this car on these back roads, it doesn't have that sort of a little terrier feel to it, like my 2003 BMW Z4 has. So like, what I mean by, those terrier dogs that have a bunch of energy and all they want to do is jump up and down, and like they have a ton of energy and they just want to run. Like when I drive my 2003 BMW Z4, like I feel like that's what the car reminds me of. It reminds me of one of those small terrier dogs that just wants to, that just kind of eggs you to, play with it and drive it fast, especially on back roads like this. So I'm driving this Z4 M40i, which is, by all accounts, by all numbers, a much more, potent car than the one that I have. It's certainly a lot faster. In a straight line, it's got more horsepower. It's got more torque. As I'm taking it on the back roads here, it just doesn't. I don't know. It's not really egging me to push it on. Like I'm actually more inclined, like as I'm in this car, to just sort of take it easy. Not push it too hard, just enjoy the drive, enjoy the comfortable drive, and enjoy the interior feel. And if that's sort of what you're looking for, I think this car is going to be perfect for you. But if you're looking for, sort of a hardcore sports car, a weekend toy, one that's going to be, very different from your daily driver, then I'm not sure if you want to go with this car, because it's not edgy enough, I guess is the best way that I would put it. So I'm not taking anything away from the car. I think the car's awesome. The car's great. But I do think that it's definitely more of a multi-purpose vehicle in many ways. Kind of has a feel of a BMW 3 Series. and not a pure sports car. So that's it for today's quick drive. Appreciate your watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and stay tuned for more videos. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.